Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about realistic anime fan art. So I was originally not going to make this a video topic because I basically agree with everything that's been said, and I didn't really feel like I had anything new to add to the discourse. However, Instagram has been bombarding me with white, realistic Sailor Moon fan art, and I just can't keep quiet any longer. So can we please just stop drawing anime characters as white? Alright, so part 1. Are anime characters white? And this is a very loaded question, and there are no simple answers. There are some anime characters that are clearly supposed to be white, like Bandit Keith from Yu-Gi-Oh! However, Joey Wheeler, who has a very strong Brooklyn accent in the American dub, is supposed to be Japanese in the original. However, what I didn't know is that Pegasus is actually supposed to be American. And maybe from a Japanese perspective this makes sense, but when I watched it as a kid I just thought he was British. And an easy way out of this question would be that anime is an art form and an art style, and not set in any sort of reality. The characters look the way they do because it not only makes them look cute, but it also shows their expressions better in a comic type form like manga. They exist in an alternate reality, and just because they're made by Japanese people doesn't mean that they're Japanese. But sadly, anime doesn't exist in a vacuum. Anime is not shielded from globalization, racism, and other real-world effects. Anime artists and fan artists, whether they like it or not, have their own biases. And I think it's worth exploring what those are in order to create a more inclusive art world. Firstly, like I said, some anime characters are white, but other anime characters look white but are actually supposed to be Japanese. Take Serena from Sailor Moon, whose Japanese name is Usagi Tsukino, but was changed to Serena when she was brought over to North America. And in fact, this is not new. Astro Boy, arguably the first anime in the States, also had their names changed. And this was done to presumably whitewash the characters in order to make them more marketable, especially with World War II sentiment still being very strong.
We want it to be unconditional. Akira, go ahead, tell him what I said.
Roger, stop it.
We don't want any of your Jap crap.
And in the end, it worked. Astro Boy was a huge success in the US and paved the way for more anime to come in the future, but of course, not without some slight tweaks. A lot of Japanese iconography was changed or just ignored altogether during dubbing. I think we all remember those jelly donuts that the gang from Pokemon used to eat.
These donuts are great! Jelly-filled are my favorite! Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut!
So does that mean that Japanese people just hate themselves? No, of course not. They just see anime as more of a creative outlet. Japan is a very homogeneous society, so they see white features like blonde hair and blue eyes as different and cool. Not to mention that a lot of anime has sci-fi and fantasy elements to it, which calls for sometimes crazy hair and eye combinations that aren't just blonde and blue. Sometimes they're aliens, sometimes they're cat people, but more times than not, they're magical girls. And in fact, anime characters are so universal because they don't really have any ethnic features besides white skin, but that's for another day. And in all, people from Japan see anime characters as Japanese.
金髪の日本人。
日本人。
アニメっぽい。
急に、おっぱい大きい。
可愛いな。これなんだろうね。これでも日本人にしか見えなくない？
でも金髪だよ。
ああ、なるほどね。
どういうところが日本人に見えます？
And this question of are anime characters white only really comes up in the West because we can't imagine a world where we're not default. And this is the problem and why we get tons of realistic white Sailor Moon fan art. So part 2, the impacts. So you're probably thinking, how does this affect me? And what does fan art have to do with it? And if you're thinking that, you've probably never been affected by systemic racism. So, like I said before, anime characters are very universal, meaning I saw myself in them. Knowing that these creations came from Asia and were made by Asian artists was amazing to me. And I saw myself in their characters in a world where movies and TV shows were lacking any sort of diversity. And seeing so much fan art of anime characters, be it Sailor Moon or not, as white just hurts. I have seen some notable works where some of the Sailor Scouts aren't white, but 9 times out of 10, Serena will be white, and that just irks me and leads to the second problem, 2. Drawing white, realistic fan versions of anime characters makes cultural appropriation okay. And because anime is so universal and does take place in alternate realities, a lot of people don't see anything wrong with borrowing from the anime aesthetic. And if you're cosplaying, that's cool. I don't care what race you are if you're cosplaying. But some celebrities are huge culture vultures and don't care about anime, don't care about Japanese culture, and just use whatever they want in order to stay relevant. And yes, I'm talking about you know who. I feel like a lot of white people who do culturally appropriate anime fashion think it's okay because anime is just an art style and doesn't exist in reality. And though that's true, whenever they dress in anime garb, they try to look Asian or half by either wearing slanted eyeliner or puppy dog eyeliner. And to be honest, e-girl culture is kind of stealing from the ojang look that Korean people started almost a decade ago, only further emphasizing the erasure of Asian beauty. We forget that anime is created by Japanese people, and we forget what they look like and what East Asian people look like in general. So let's take a moment to celebrate the creators of all of our favorite anime. So part 3, white as the default in drawing. So finally on to the problematic fan art. Fan art of realistic Sailor Moons have been flooding my feed for weeks now and I'm sick of it. Every time there's a realistic Sailor Moon speed paint, she's always white. And I get it, you think she's white, but can we please just have some creativity here? And yeah, I get it, we're only ever taught to draw white people. We never learn how to draw monolids or big noses or thick lips or shade in darker skin, but let's all make a commitment to do so. There's a really great fan art of Rihanna as Sailor Pluto, but she's rare. Let's start making some creative fan art. I want to see Asian Sailor Moon, I want to see Black Sailor Moon, I want to see Latinx Sailor Moon. And if you do see or make diverse fan art, please tag me on Instagram at Cheyenne_Lin. So thanks everyone for listening to my rant, and a big thank you to all of my patrons, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Do all the YouTube stuff. Bye.